Today, I'm going to try to focus my attention on decoding what my opponent wants. And, we're going to do this for a couple reasons. Number one, it's just a really good exercise. It's a good way to think about the game while you're playing it. But it's also, what was I going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. We're just going to worry about what our opponent wants. And right now, what our opponent is wanting is to build a framework on the left. And that's totally fine, because we're going to build a framework on the right. Right. Here's why it's important to decode what your opponent wants. Because sometimes the thing they want isn't good enough, or it's too much. And a lot of the decisions you make in Go can kind of simplify out to that type of logic, where if my opponent is staking out a moyo that's just too small, I'm going to let them have it. I'm actually going to encourage them by playing more moves that encourage them to make the choice to take what they want. And conversely, if they make an overplay, what they want is too much, and that's going to encourage me to fight. So that's how we're thinking of all this. Okay, so in this case, again, our opponent has now basically made two moves over here saying he would like to build a framework on the left. And you know what? We're okay with that. We are okay with that. We're still building our framework on the right. It's been confirmed. This is still very fair of a game. The spacing here between these two stones is actually quite suspect. So I really don't mind letting black build a framework. Now, if black was really committed to territory over here, I might play a move like this, where I extend downward. I still might do that. However, I also care a little bit about the bottom, and I don't really want the bottom to get out of control. So I'm going to make sure I have a little bit of strength over here to make sure I can fight for the bottom if need be. Because if my opponent takes the left, I'm fine. This is not quite spacing that is good enough. Hane. I can Hane. It's a big fight. Let's do it. This actually is, or could be a transposition of a 3-3 Joseki that apparently we're not going to get to see because we're just playing this way. Okay. Interesting. I like here. Do I like it better than this one? Yeah, probably. In this case, I have a hard time. I don't want to Atari this. I know I should Atari this stone right now, but I really don't want to, because if this stone gets strong, I want to Atari it this way, and if it's weak, then I need to Atari it this way. So we'll see. We'll give my opponent time to see if he wants that Atari or not. Oh, okay. So when black responds this way, I'm going to Atari this way to make sure this is strong. And we'll just make sure we have the corner. All right, so again, my opponent still wants this left framework. Look, he wants to convert it to territory. The madman. We haven't responded over here, which I'm increasingly tempted to do so. But I also wouldn't mind roughing up the bottom a little bit. Even though we didn't respond to black's response over here, we have a little bit of a target. We could apply a little bit of pressure. I think it's actually worth just either keeping the bottom very low, or if black lets us split it up into pieces, that is also fine. Again, we're not freaking out about this left. We're evaluating it as something my opponent wanted, and we're just going to make him pay for it over and over again. He's already paid for it a little bit. This was his corner, but we've already taken it. Not for huge, about 7 to 8 points worth. 7, 8 points worth is currently only about half of what this wall is worth. But right now we're getting some outside thickness to help. Although this doesn't quite make thickness because black can cut through. That's a little bit disappointing. Maybe here. I don't know what the right move is. Also, I could jump in the corner at this point too. I can come back and approach. I really like this move. It certainly feels like I should play something over here, though. Maybe just let those fend for themselves. Will be the most optimistic we can be. Oh, I could have played this first. Should I? It's a little bit late now. Well, still might be good. Let's try it. Yeah, I should have played that first. Those crude moves are sometimes the hardest, because that's the moment when you're deciding, I know what I want. I want this. And in this case, I'm not even sure I know I want that, but it's going to help. Okay, he's going to look for cuts. I have all this thickness on the outside. Black still got the left. Got a very small bottom, but currently a big corner over here. These two stones are a lot less important. Now that black is sort of groveled and connected, I'm a lot less concerned about them. So, we don't want to lose them outright for nothing. But we do, if black decides black wants them, then so be it. We will give them up. Over here, I should be a little bit more worried than I am. Let's just offer... does this work? We just trade? Is it working? Oh, this doesn't work. Whoops. Yeah, I don't have that Atari. Oh, I could play this Atari first. Right. Is this how it has to be done? Oh, no, it still doesn't work. Still doesn't work. All right, bad reading. Let's connect. Of course, when you're deciding what you want and your opponent wants, you still have to read, and I totally didn't really do that. So here we are. Ooh. Neat. Can I play this one? Okay. The answer is yes. All right, we can link up. This is not a fair trade. Black got a much better deal, at least locally, but I did get a few more moves here on the right. Oh? What? How? No. You don't get to play that. Although there is actually... Yeah, no, he doesn't get to play that. All right, so he just had a total brain fart over there. That's very reasonable. Let's now back off. My opponent wants to break up the top. Oh, he's going to play this way, and he's going to play there to finish it. That is optimistic. To say something. What I would like... I'm okay with black playing there. So we're just going to turn here. This turn move, very big. Wow. All right, let's continue. Just... Wow, really? This black is now sort of aimed twice here. This is the weak point in this shape at this 4-4 point. I think we just play it. There's probably a better move in here. All right, we're pretty safe there. Okay. Our opponent is not asking for very much. He just wants very small life over here, right? He's getting very worried about this Moyo, which is fair. It was getting to be a rather large Moyo. Seems like he has to cut. We just pull back. And again, we just annoy him. We don't have to work very hard here to keep up the annoying. Just make sure nothing is comfortable. This stone is uncomfortable. These two are uncomfortable. This whole group is still very uncomfortable. I think we can play there. We can play there. He can ask a little bit if he wants. But we can just get out. We still have this peep here, which is kind of dirty. Should I make shape? This feels really like an important shape point. Okay, he came back to live. It means our job is now easy. We can just swallow this stone whole as we attack these three. My opponent wanted a nice, comfortable group over here, but the unfortunate part is it left a lot of other things on fire. I expect my opponent has to lean on these 4 stones. Oh, he's not going to answer that directly yet. Okay. Let's make sure eye space is limited. And come out. And just slowly, yep, there's the attack. The attack is happening. I can play this one for now. He's got 2. He could play this wedge here, which is cool. This one's also cool. I actually have liberties to play here, right? So in this shape, normally when you have this sort of cutting, if I just connect, black will cut here, and if I Atari, black will Atari back, and often it's a problem. But in this case, these 3 stones are in too much trouble. So I don't think it works at all. I think I have just enough liberties to prevent this cut from being a thing. Now, the problem with making one read like that is I have to make sure all the rest of the read also works. And that I don't quite have guarantees of. So I'm going to play this peep first before coming out, just to make sure I have the ladder coming off this cut. Oh, maybe there was better? Well, I can play there now. Again, we're just working on swallowing this whole top. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work now. Right. Well, yeah, this is, I totally misread. I have to read when I'm actually playing these games. What a bummer. But, you know, what the good news is we kind of got to swallow the top. And we still have some thickness in here to make use of. Oh, we also have this, oh, we have a ko here. Yeah, this is not over. This is not over. This is such a huge ko. I would be surprised if black actually responded to anything over here. Yeah. In retrospect, this looks like I'm trying to generate ko threats, so it actually looks like a really good move. Instead of starting the ko right away where I know that I don't have as many threats, playing a move in the one thing that black wanted this entire game to try to make this a little bit more serious seems kind of genius. Not tooting my own horn, I'm just saying it kind of looks like a pro move, even though I totally forgot there was a ko over here. Totally. I got a couple options. I could even connect, to be honest, and wouldn't be unhappy about it. Again, we took away the one thing black wanted. And we're still making shape. We're still doing things. I can even play this move. This is pretty deadly. Let's just take this, though. This makes the whole situation much more serious. Oh, he's going to counter. The counter attack has started. But I'm okay with this because I have moves like this. All right, my opponent wants, number one, is not to die here, and preferably connecting up to a group like this would be really nice. I guess, oh no, my opponent could still, yeah, actually, so my opponent can still connect here, so this group isn't in trouble until I disconnect. So this is going to make sure he has a connection while attacking, and that's great. Very good. I don't know which one of these is the best shape. We have a couple good options. We could cut right away. This feels like it starts the fight. It commits to the fight much too early. Feels like I have more shape to make. This is the best local. If I just want to live and do nothing else, this would be the best move, but it kind of provokes black to get a lot stronger. So I don't really like that as much. Let's just play this one. This is the least clear. It's just a good point. But, you know, we got to try it. We can come back and play that move. We can attach here. I kind of like the idea of that. Also, we could also try attaching this way. That also seems quite good, or playable at the very least. Let's attach this side. I'm starting to feel this direction a little bit more. I could play here, and that kind of has a dual threat to cut through. Here's the more proper, usual move. It might be good enough. If I play here, black's going to play there. If I wedge, Atari, connect, yeah. Let's just pull back. I don't actually have to wedge because I also have this move, which is kind of good because I still have this cut too. I'm not seriously worried about this group in the current state. I'm just looking at too much Aji between this wedge and this push through. And, okay. Good luck, black. I don't know if this is going to work well for you, but good luck nonetheless. And then just jump there, right? I think we're good. Let's cut. I think we're all good. So I'm going to play this way. Okay. Seems like a strange way to play. I don't see a good way out for these two stones. Unless you can really short the liberties on my white group. Yeah, lost cause. Okay. Choice, I can cut through, or I can, come back and try to cut later. And cutting later still looks like a strong possibility, but we don't need it to win this game. And if my opponent plays moves like that, I'm a little bit unclear as to what his next plan was. This feels like an overplay. We have to read, make sure it's not an overplay. Yeah, he's just going to poke up. I could give up those three and then come back and kill that, maybe? No, too much, too much. Let's just play there. Very crude. Very crude. Just connect underneath. Is that big enough? Anything else bigger? This is not... I know this is not the biggest move in the world. It's very safe, though. So let's just go with it. I don't need that. But it's still probably the best way to fix. All right, so my opponent reduced me a little bit on the top. But we're still looking at, that's, a 50-point top. The real sad news is black also got a very large bottom. On the bottom right, we never really had time. But again, our bottom left is not small after this capture. Our top is huge. We're not really worried. This isn't not a real threat. This is interesting move. This is big. Fixing the corner is also kind of big at this point. So is actually fixing this corner. We will just ask a little bit over here. Do have to be careful after... I guess I can't really do much over here. Because once this gets fixed, I still kind of owe a move. All right. Okay. So, play over here. I'm going to try to disconnect this and kill this thing. How do we feel about that? I mean, there's worse things in the world. But I guess I should do it this way. No, it doesn't matter for endgame, right? No, it doesn't really matter. Is this the best way to fix it? Probably not. Probably this way? This way? Reading time. This is the move we're worried about, right? We're worried about black playing here. Because if black can connect, my ice base goes away. So if we do anything, it all kind of works fine. I'll just play a move. We got what we wanted. Just have to make sure this stick also has liberties. After this Atari, there's the shenanigans down here that I'm a little bit worried about. I'll just block. All right. Yeah, that's a big move. My opponent got both these corners. That feels bad. Feels bad. I can get this reduction though, which is again another very large move. Is it biggest? I have some cool endgame reduction here, is what I'm looking at. Let's just take this though. Huh? Is it, why? What does this do? I don't know what this does. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The reason why I have cool endgame over here is because I can sort of force this code to take effect again when this black group runs out of liberties. All right, my opponent is saying that I can't play here. Why not? Why can't I play here? A cut, and then there. He's going to pull back? I don't see it. I don't see it. Let's find out. Let's find out together. Because I don't know what the meaning of that move was. Okay. Okay, give up. Very good. So cut here. I have liberties still. Still have liberties. Still have liberties. My opponent is just trying things. It seems. I've gotten into the head of my opponent. This feels like a really bad exchange, right? Like, what is going on here? I don't even know what are we even exchanging. Should I play there? This is too fancy. Let's just play here. I don't have any worries here in the middle of this this whole part of the board. Just keep our liberties. Keep our liberties. That's endgame. Endgame as well. Is this now the biggest endgame over here? I assume this is better than this one. Let's find out. Oh, do I have more? Do I have even better endgame in here? Oh, really? Does he have a plan? What happens? Does he like his plan? Oh, right, this I can lose a lot more than gain. Necessarily. Oh, man, we could play this now. This is dirty. Or this. Oh, that's some more co-threats for him. All right, I definitely didn't have enough co-threats to play this all the way out. Let's just acknowledge that, as usual. Don't quite have enough co-threats. This is really big endgame loss. This is a huge exchange. Oh, can I do it? I think I can do it, though. Right? Because this kills all the corner. So not a threat. Not a threat. Oh my god, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, as long as I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 liberties. He only has really 3. Okay. All right, well, this game changed a lot. For those of you watching. Did not expect this to go this way. What is my opponent thinking? I don't know. I think he made a really bad deal. Because not only is this dead over here, and he lost this. I mean, I gave up all this, so I gave up a lot. Let's. Wow, he's still needing to play moves to take that corner. We can start threatening more. The threats are going to continue. The beatings will continue until morale has improved. That's the thing. That's the one. Just here. Right? I can do this basically in Sente. Let's make sure you can't make a second eye in here. I don't think I needed that actually, but okay. I can just connect now. Then he has to capture. You're going to be all fancy-like to capture? Okay, that's fine. You can be all fancy-like. And then we can just play here. And no more eyes. Eyes be gone. Magic. All right, so we just won this game accidentally by a ton. Killed everything on the top half of the board. That was not supposed to happen. No, that doesn't work. Oh, does it work? Wait. No. Wait a second. Oh, no. Oh, no, we did not read this correctly. No. Okay, we didn't get the super mega kill. Never mind. We have to play that first. We had a little problem. But you know what? We actually still get to capture the tail. So we still profited. But yeah, Black should have just connected there a long time ago. Or maybe, I guess he didn't have to until the eyes were taken away. We gave up a little bit extra here. That's why this was all bad. These were the AI. When we review this game, the AI will yell at me and be like, "What are you doing?" Oh, and there we go. There's the win. All right. So good game. I don't think we quite understood what the opponent was thinking for large swaths of this, or maybe we did. It was just bad deals. My reading was very suspect, but maybe that just makes the games more fun. Like, you guys don't want to, you don't want to watch me like take the time to read things out, right? Like, I think we're all in agreement about that. So anyway, let's see what the AI thinks of this game. And I'll be back in the future right about now. All right. So, hello, it's Nick of the future. Just went through the game. And you can already see the graph on the right is pretty white. There was after the first, 10 moves or so, was there ever a point where Black actually was leading? I don't think so. Hold on, let's see. Is there ever wait, and then wait for sure, and then we get this one scary moment back here. No. So with the exception, or at least with this AI, who gives White a 0.2 advantage at the start of the game, Black never led this game. So that's interesting. But you can see that there are actually some opportunities for this to be over a 100-point win. The AI estimates that it was only about a 60, 70-point win. It's close to 70 from where we left the game when my opponent resigned. So, I mean, pretty hefty win. But we could have gotten more. I saved a group I didn't need to save. So, yeah. Let's look at that in this episode of What is My Opponent Thinking? Here, let's get rid of that AI stuff. Of course, the AI wants me to play here because it's a robot, but whatever. This is also very good. Also here, still wants me to play here because, whatever. It's a robot. This is all good. Funnily enough, in the game, even though I talked about playing this one because my opponent wanted this side, the AI agrees this is the AI's favorite move. Substantially so. It's not like this was much. This is like its second choice, but it's still, a few further clicks down the percentage than most opening moves would normally be at move 16. So we play this out, and I miss a move here. Again, this is, I kind of have to play that one. But after here, I should just play here. Whoops, in here. You can kind of see the opportunity that I missed because black can't defend. And so basically black's best opportunity is to do something like this, but then white can just do this or even this. And, just sort of keep going. And what's even very nice about this position is that I have the ladder. So this stone here, not in any real problems, not any real trouble. There is a net. Whoops, if I can net it. But it is contingent on this Atari. Well, I guess even then, like even if this Atari, like I know, like black can just connect here and Atari me. But let's pretend for a second that black can't do that. Yeah, I guess actually the net is how you play that. So the ladder actually doesn't really matter anyway. But this is still a sad result for black when white gets to just sort of get a pretty sizable corner and take over the one thing that black wanted. So that's cool. All right, so missed opportunity for sure. Black took advantage of it right away to fix and get this. This is the correct timing according to the AI. And white takes the corner. This is all correct. The AI doesn't like this move. It thinks it's much too slow, which it is. But doesn't really like my move either. And it wanted to play something much more... Well, here, let's enable it. Yeah, that point. I saw it searching at that move for a little while, but this point, sort of right in between, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, it just kind of makes black's life hard. It's one of those moves that there's a lot of these long variations that get read out in the middle of the board because you kind of have to read what happens if black does this, for instance. And in this case, of course, white is fine. But there's just a lot of these little cuts here. Whenever you leave a large knight, you kind of have to slow down and take your time and read. And I'm not really playing a lot of shapes like this in these types of games because I'm playing very fast. I'm not really reading as I would in a more tournament style game. So I miss these kinds of moves, and I'm looking for more heuristic shortcut moves like shoulder hits that I know how they work and don't have to do as much reading. Anyway, to here, this is fine, but then at this point, this is also fine. At this point, I don't need to make this exchange at all. In fact, I shouldn't, because if black is going to cut here, I have two options. Okay. I guess it's showing the numbers because I looked at these variations already. Is this to do this sort of thing? And this is a really, it's a hard ko for either player to really win. For black to win, black has to waste a move and then risk giving white a double panuki and potentially more, right? This has a lot of white momentum, and black has to spend a move to get it. So black has a hard time winning this ko. White also has a really hard time winning this ko. So what's likely to happen is this is just a standoff. Like if black goes and plays something else and white takes, sure, black disconnects. And or I guess locally, this is the better way to do it. If black wanted to continue. But in this case, that doesn't do anything. Yeah. This is quite good for white. Black gets a few more points here, but this thickness, totally worth it. So black, in conclusion, black can't really fight the ko here because white's follow-ups to the ko just have too much momentum, too much more to gain. So I need to just, think about that when I play this sequence and leave this Atari here. And obviously, if my opponent plays here, I don't have to connect in the game. I basically connected with another Liberty shorted. This would have been much better not to have that Liberty shorted. But even so, I still don't need to connect. I can actually just play a move like this and just really build something large here. This is also okay. But I think the leaving it like this is kind of the best that both players can do for now. Okay, anyway. And this is a bad exchange. It really shorted a Liberty on a group that died. So when you're reviewing your own games, if you see that happen, where you have a group that dies and you go and look at the moves that lead up to its death, and you see yourself shorting a Liberty that you may not needed to have short, in this case, then something has gone wrong. I mean, all this is a good fight for black. I missed an opportunity here, though. It's still okay. This is significantly worse to this one. And let's play out a few sequences here. If black tries to cut, that's a big if. This is a better cut for white. We're threatening to come down in here. If black takes away the Liberty, we have this net shape. And the important thing is we just have to keep making sure that we can either attack these two or these three. We can give up these if we need to, as long as we get the payment in the form of these 3 stones. And so we need to remember that. We did not do that. So there's other ways. I think the AI's favorite was to actually play this right now, see what black responds. And again, if it comes down to this group, or one of either both of these dying, let me color that a different color. Yeah, this one and this one, 2 pink groups. If both of them die, that's fine, totally great for white. Like surprisingly good for white, because white has all. Let's color in white. Look at all this potential. Imagine this pink group is dead. We have all these stones kind of working together, and like I said, these will die, but they're still going to be Aji here as black tries to kill them off in that variation. All right, so anyway, we played some funny shapes in here. This was a bad shape. Black can connect. Doesn't need to play this way. Black could have played this way. Just much simpler. Or actually, is it? Huh. I assumed it would be simpler. But is it true? Yeah, seems fine. Black can still connect. Okay. This move here is a little bit of an overplay. But black kind of fell for it. And then here, so this move lets me connect up to this, but connecting up to this isn't good enough. As long as black gets to capture these 4 and I only capture 1, black's still short up the left and the bottom right. So giving up another 4 stones is not really, there's no compensation here. But after black plays this huge loss, if you looked back at the graph, you can kind of see that black was actually tightening the gap right there again. White got out to about an early 10-point lead or so. But then after I make these couple mistakes in here, we're getting to a pretty dangerously close game again, 2-point lead for white. But then as soon as black just fills in and dies, then, that's a huge loss. So this was a huge mistake for black. Very unfortunate. Because black can just take Sente now. Like, black doesn't even need to connect. Since these are all connected and these 3 stones are kind of meaningless. And it takes a lot of work for white to actually kill them. Like, I guess you have to play there. And then you can play there. So it takes 2 Gote moves for white to effectively kill them. Anyway, that's maybe there's another variation actually, but okay. I won't waste our time with that because we want to get more to the good stuff. This was a good response to this. The AI was very sad that I never got to play this move or this move or anything else in this corner. There were definitely a series of times where I thought those were good ideas, things I should do. This turn, I thought in the game this was good enough, because again, if I play another move over here, this is mostly sealed in for black. white still controls the center in its entirety. But in the end, I don't really need this. Like, white's strong enough. I can respond to these local fights more directly. So, mistake there. The A liked this point, which I did get to play later, but it's worth pointing out now. This and this, yeah, the best move is here, which was my intuition. But I was like, but this is the shape point. And if you don't know, if you've never seen this before, when black approaches here, whatever white does, if it does something not in the corner, the follow-up is actually for black to play here. And there's a couple main variations from this, but this is kind of like one of them where you get this, corner fighting variation. The other one, which kind of is a little more complicated, looks more like this, and black can play a couple different moves here depending on the situation to make eyes. Locally, you can see this is better for white, right? White gets to keep most of the center influence and make some points. But you can also see that there's defects, and the corner is not entirely white's yet, so it's surprisingly fair enough. So those are the two quick follow-ups, if you've never seen that before. All right, so here, yeah, I need to be more aggressive. I have this thickness. I kind of want white to take the corner. And this is the thing, or not white, black. Black is investigating, hey, can I have either the side or the corner? And I didn't make a decision. I did not make the call for black to have the corner. And let's see. Wow. Yeah, he says, nope, next move is down here. Pull back and then play the key point. Oh, wow. It says white can fight for the corner too. All right, this is much more vicious actually than I gave it credit for. This is much better for white than I thought, because in this case, it's a fight for everything. And that's going to be a long, protracted fight. I want a nice simple variation where black just takes the corner. Can I have that, please? Let's go to that. Where do I get one of those? Here. And then what about if white just plays here? Oh, still, it says come out this way. Yeah, what if we cut? Here, take something in the corner. That's a really sad corner for black, though. All right, I'd be quite happy. All right, I give... Apparently that's stronger than I thought. Did not need to defend. Over here, I missed a really good shape point. I actually have time to play this, and I should. Obviously, black can't cut right away, but there are some problems. There is this nice Atari sequence, but I still have 4 liberties, and I have a stone here, so black can't actually cut. He can make me into a total giant dumpling, but doesn't do him any good. And meanwhile, let's see if black just tries to cover. I think I can just play here. All right, just threaten to link up or fight. And in this case, looks like here. If we descend, there it is. Yeah, we have enough. Okay. So anyway, after here, there's another key point that I missed the whole game. I'm actually being a little bit too cautious. And again, it's a fast game where I'm talking and not really reading, so my cautious is understandable. However, I have this move. The very crude, Q-looking move I did not get to play. And this is just a very simple, hey, can you die? Like just asking my opponent, hey, can you die? And, I haven't looked to see how far if black can actually run out here or cause more mischief. But assuming black doesn't want to just die, if we make that assumption, and black has to connect something like here, well, then I can just kill these 2 stones off, and then I don't have any problems. So, total missed opportunity for a long time, right? This is, I mean, not a long time, but the next 10, 15 moves or so, that's just hanging out there. And it's still there. Like, it's still a thing. Now here it's a little bit more precarious because I can be cut too. But if we just count liberties, nope, this doesn't work. This is a win for black. No, it's not. Sorry, I lied. Total win for white. Atari from that side. Self-Atari. Yeah, still there. Still there. So this is just very painful for me to go back and review and be like, oh, right, there's this shape point here that totally miffed. AI hated my peep. And again, part of the reason why it hates the peep is because I have this move. One of the reasons. Also, if let's just say I respond over here with a move like this, or even just that, and my opponent cuts, the AI first of all thinks that I should just give it up. But I'm not even sure that's the case. Because if I play this way first, oh no, that is the case. Yeah, never mind. Because black can connect that now. All right, never mind. Ha ha ha. All right, erase that. So anyway, it does not like the peep. It's actually just like, give it up. You can just kill the top now. I was very uninterested in saving these if I wasn't going to play this. This cut does kind of work. And that's my cut. The AI actually liked my move very much and actually didn't like filling the ko right now, or very much wanted to respond to this, which you can see. I think I put this at like a 6-point loss to fill the ko right now. And didn't like anything I did over here. I thought all this was too small for both players. Just angry AI. And then the AI, so cool, so calm, collected, is not worried about this group in the slightest. Which is amusing, but AI is just seeing all the different ways that this group can get out, and me as human trying to use heuristics, and I'm a little more cautious. But here I think the AI's favorite move is to cut here, and this is a good technique when your opponent has a stone that can be cut. If you can just find all the cuts, there's a chance one of them will work out. You don't need them all to work, you just need one to work out. And so if we make a cut there, we can come back and cut down here. Basically, as this white group is going to run this way, it's either going to get to attack or even capture these two or these two, whichever side is there. And so just getting a cut means, your opponent can't defend both sides. And I totally didn't do that. I played this very overly cautious, very ambiguous shape move. And even now, still just cut. Still just here. Yeah, even more so now. It's good. Yep, all this is a little dubious. But I should say especially dubious for black. It all works well enough for white. Here, in the game I actually debated. I was like, oh, maybe I can play this. But no, this was right. And this was right, too, according to the AI. So, little proud moment. Next move, however, wrong. I played this one because I thought it was more secure. This one is actually surprisingly defended. This one looks like it leaves a lot of weaknesses, but it does not. It looks like black will be able to cut through. But black can't, because we can just capture. Like, black can push in, but whatever stones black puts in here are just going to die. So the best black can do in this case is to Atari pull back, and you can capture this stone, but I get to keep the corner. And so this is big. This is a large territory, significantly larger than anything black has. So, yeah, what was he thinking? All right. Anyway, here, yeah, the AI has a more favorite move than what I played. Totally off my radar. Oh my God! Check this out. It's the revenge. Oh, I hate that. Of the empty triangle. This is the move. It just doesn't want to give black that Atari, because it leaves two defects, and they're both pretty cool defects. If black fixes this one, you can Atari and then capture the whole thing. If black fixes this one, you're going to push through. You can take an Atari of your choosing, or, not at all, leave it for later, whatever. And if we leave it for later, I guess we could still link up. This might be better, though, to take away eye space. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, basically you're going to attack this whole thing. And black will need to come link up, but then there's some defects here with the connection, so might get a little more. Just totally, those empty triangles will sneak up on you. I do not get to play mine. So black was very happy to play that one. Black gets the first move down here. That's really big. I take this Atari. These are all the AI moves, by the way, that were of this little knife fighting in here. We did very well with that. Here, these are all the biggest moves on the board. The AI more or less agrees. This one was a little suspect, and so is this one. Now we're getting back off our game in here. AI did like this one better, and it's hard, right? Like, it feels like this still leaves a little bit of Aji here. Let's give, black a move. Like, there might be a way here to do something because of this wedge. But anyway, AI says, no, I just block here because it's better for whatever Aji's going on in here. But I don't know. It's hard. All right, here was definitely an overplay, as you guys saw. However, the AI was found a line. It doesn't quite work, but I think the best shot is actually for black to play here and basically try to separate this part. And so this is a cool Tetsuji. Even if it doesn't quite work 100%, this is a long, complicated Joseki when black can sort of come down here and split. And so this is the type of move you have to look for in your own games. This is a weird defect, this little wedge. But you can see this doesn't have a lot of liberties to work with, so you might get a free connecting move out. This also doesn't have that many liberties to work with. So type of Tetsuji you got to look for. All right, this doesn't work, but this is where things get really dangerous. AI is hating most of what we're doing in here. What it really wants, I guess that part is fine. Yeah, here, this is all fine. Yeah, after this, yeah, it doesn't really care about that. Oh, no, sorry. This is later. Yeah, we did do this because I win this ko. Hates that ko threat. This is a minus ko threat. I knew that. I just needed a big ko threat because this is killer. All right, so this is the point in the game. Let's take a look at the graph. Things are bad right here, right on this graph, right before this giant spike up in terms of white points. And we also didn't get to the line where white wins by over 100 points. I want to show you both those things. What happened here? This is the biggest just raw point change in the entire game. So let's break this down. Let's use some colors. Let's label the groups. So let's call this red group. And red has a couple related groups. This is like orange group. It's related to red. What else is related to red? Pink, I guess. We'll call this the pink group. And then related to pink is purple, a little bit further away from red. And that's this thing, this part of the group. I know this is going to be complicated. Sorry using colors, okay? I'm going to go deep dive here. And there's the blue tail here. That's on one side. On the other side, we have, let's go to this minty greeny color. White has this group, and related to that color will be something more green. This corner group, and actually even then that's kind of like two groups here. So there's that green. Well, let's pick a darker green for the actual corner. And everything else of whites is not in danger, so it's not really worth marking. I guess we should mark the standalone. This is a yellow. It doesn't look yellow on black. Black group. Oh, and along with the yellow-black group, puke gold-colored black group. We have these captures in here, which white doesn't actually need to live, provided that, white has time to either make eyes in here, make sure these two are dead, and there's another eye in here, or that any of these other color groups are dead. All right, so these are all the groups that are affected by what's about to happen next. And so it's like, what percentage of the board is that? Is that over half the board? I think so. So first, let's point out the AI firmly believes that this is the best move, ensuring that red group and orange group are safe, which also makes pink group, purple group, and blue group safe. So you can see how big this one move is, because if white gets it, not only is red group and orange group dead, pink, purple, and blue are all in trouble. So when you're trying to evaluate, what's biggest on the board, you have to just, think about what's actually dead and what's about to be dead. And, you can give a general rule of thumb of things that could be dead in one move are worth half the value of what they're worth. That doesn't always work in when you get close to the end game, because there's not always moves of such a big value. Like if I take a 30-point move, there's usually not necessarily another 30-point move or a 29-point move left for me to take. So the math doesn't quite work in practice, but in the abstract, if white gets this, all of these red and orange stones are dead. You would add those up for points, and you can give yourself like half score for all the other potential things that could die. And in this case, because these are somewhat contingent upon each other, and it's possible for white to only get piece, then you get fractions of points. Regardless, this is still a lot of points, and it's actually a lot more than the yellow, green, and greens, right? Because in this case, black is threatening to basically save this group, kill this one, and this one. And, or not even, I guess, because really black needs another move in here. It has the potential to, it's threatening to kill this one and save this one. It has the potential to kill the mint green and the dark green. That's just not enough, right? You just compared to what you can see here. I think it's very obvious. And in the game, I just eyeballed it. It was like, oh, right, this feels real bad. And so my opponent made this as a co-threat. It was very obvious to me just to kill this, because that means all this other stuff now comes to pass. And so black finishes, I guess that doesn't even finish. I played there. Yeah, the AI is still mad at us because we're still, the next few moves, we're just fighting over these two groups. None of these are bigger than this thing. So AI is mad. It's going, you twits. Like, what are you doing? It was even madder for black for playing this one. Yes, white has a move down here that is, good to live, as you can see. But it's not, there's no choice, huh? Yeah, always alive. So white can live down here at Gote, but again, this is still too small compared to the rest of this. Okay, so going forward, if you remember these groups, I played here, which is fine. And then this move, AI move. Like, it was just something I sort of pulled out and was like, I better play here because this just feels like the shape point, even though it loses points. It's actually the AI-approved move. And so let's take a look at it. The whole game, actually, AI really was wants me to make this exchange. But you can see this makes 1.5 eyes. And a half eye is an eye in Gote. So if I, try to pop out an eye here, black will just make the second eye, and we'll get some small exchange. I'll get that previously known as the blue group, and more or less black will be able to live. But here, in this case, if I play this one first, it's beautiful. Genius Tsuji, right? Black has a choice. A very severe choice, in fact. Because if black lets this group run out, or it just doesn't do anything, let's say black just takes a move to connect, well, now white's going to come out, threaten to kill this, and this is all dead. So we kill the blue and the purple? I forgot how I labeled these. So, and if black responds like this, number one, this is still defended. White can still Atari to make sure white has, the full connection, no problems. And black is only guaranteed one eye here. And so now white can go after the tail over here. You have to go after the tail because black can make a second eye over here. And so you're really only entitled to the tail. But oh no, this doesn't connect at all. You're not even entitled to that, right? How does this work? Here? Oh yeah, because there's a problem here. If white disconnects this way, there's a capturing problem. So that's more of how it should work. Here, if we look at the AI here, let's put the AI on. You can see there's the beautiful move. Yeah, it actually didn't even want me to play this one. Just play this one directly. Again, here it's just begging black, don't go play something else. Like, you don't have time to connect here. And that's the move. Black plays here, which apparently in retrospect I should have. Oops. Oh no, I played the next move. It's just minus. It's funny that it says -17 because it's reading these other variations very lightly. But the variation that chose is also the one that I played in game. Black has to connect. Yeah, and then this is just the tail. Yep, all this happens. Oh, wait, what? Did I miss this? Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't need to short. I was looking at this all wrong. I can cut here. All right. Learn something new every day. I can cut. I with enough liberties to make sure I have the cut. And there we go. Right now, we're looking at a 136-point win for white because all of that is dead. Right? Black really didn't have time to respond to any of these little pokes. I can keep threatening the eye shape with all these moves. And if black's not willing to give up, this whole big tail or these 5 stones, there's always this cut here. So actually, there's always this cut here anyway. Yeah, this. There's no connection here. Yeah, because there's just this. Yeah. So it's all. Yeah, black has no hopes. This is the best hope for black is to play this right now. And you can see there it gets an eye and a half. Then there's another half eye down here, so that makes black live. But that's why. This move is the beautiful one. You have to find a way to poke out the eye in something like Sente. It's not complete Sente. But I guess it is. Actually, yeah, in this case, because black's still not connected. Yeah, there's no other choices here. Real bad. 100 points. Go as hard. Go as hard. Do you guys know that? Have I taught you guys that part of the game? This was unfortunate. Black got to connect up. So still a big win. Still almost a 70-point win. Totally worthy of a resignation by black. But yeah, these games, I need to practice more reading. I've been playing too many fast games. I think what I really need to do is actually play intentionally off camera, like just a lot of like slow games and really practice reading out long sequences. Because playing fast games or playing these games where I'm recording them and trying to talk and again, just sort of relying on shape and heuristics and not my full attention and focus, my reading ability is going down. Like, and reading is like one of those things you need to practice. It's very much use it or lose it. So on that note, again, I want you all to encourage all of you to just always be reading. Like, just the more you do it, the easier it gets on a just daily basis. If you can do that, I know this video was called something like what is my opponent thinking? If you can read really well, it doesn't matter what your opponent's thinking. It really does come down to reading. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Happy going. See you next time.